team of the 3rd Infantry Regiment from Fort Myer executes some smart drilling in Old Market Square. It was here that George Washington first drilled his own troops. Our earliest commanding general would have been quite as impressed as this generation of Alexandrians, for the men from Fort Myer are executing their movements without benefit of spoken commands. But the Army is about to put on an even more impressive exhibition and provides Army-style taxi service to the scene of the big show. It's to be an engineer demonstration at Fort Belvoir. Grandstands have been erected to accommodate the expectant Alexandrians. They will now see Uncle Sam's combat engineers in action. With simulated nuclear explosives, it's a preview of what may come one day. Best reason in the world for keeping our defenses strong. Today's demonstration is an assault river crossing in which combat techniques, equipment, and unit organization are adapted to a modern concept for battle in an atomic war. To get those first troops over, there's covering fire from the near shore. Amphibians can start on their job while that first wave takes care of enemy defenses. Helicopters carry over additional troops and materiel, despite enemy efforts to knock them down. For later study and evaluation, cameras cover the action. Helicopters have another role to perform. From rear areas, they bring up the pontons and wide variety of craft needed to secure our foothold. Retrieving is a ticklish job, with an aggressive enemy waiting to take advantage of the floating targets. Combat engineers live up to their reputation. Now, as opposition stiffens, they must operate under heavier gunfire. Tricky currents in the rapidly moving stream make their task an even tougher job to accomplish. Engineers know that the immediate objective of any river operation is to get assault units across quickly and economically, and to establish a bridgehead which will protect the crossing of the remainder of the command. Our attacking forces can depend upon these Army engineers to provide the means for that crossing. New units quickly work on assembling the latest craft dropped by the helicopters. These will carry heavy rolling equipment to the far shore. Enemy batteries aren't ready yet to call it quits. And there's a direct hit. But the attack is on schedule, and the heavy stuff starts moving over. Among the spectators are interested observers from friendly nations. The assault is a success, and a footbridge now spans the current. The far shore is ours. Alexandria's citizens have seen an exhibition they're going to remember a long, long time. They'll remember, and they'll take pride in their close association with our Army. A banquet at the George Mason Hotel marks the formal closing of this week of friendly tribute to the Army. Mayor Bendheim presiding, introduced the guest of honor and speaker for the occasion, the Honorable Mr. Hugh M. Milton, Assistant Secretary of the Army and himself an Alexandrian. Concluding a speech that traced his home city's historic ties with the military, Mr. Milton reminded his audience that this particular day marked the 182nd anniversary of the establishment of America's oldest fighting force. Then, in words that merit quotation, he pointed out that for Americans there is a common effort that unites soldier and civilian. Said Mr. Milton, like Alexandria, your army is preserving the traditions of the past and keeping itself in constant state of readiness to ensure that the American heritage shall be passed on to our children and our children's children.
Alexandria's gesture in saluting the United States Army with a week devoted to expressions of friendly cooperation is a milestone in civilian-military relationships. Even more important, however, is the spirit behind it. This is a spirit that can be duplicated throughout the country, happily for us, wherever the civilian lives in close contact with the citizen-turned-soldier. Now this is Sergeant Stuart Queen, inviting you to be with us again next week for another look at your Army in action on The Big Picture.
The Big Picture is an official television report for the armed forces and the American people. Produced by the Army Pictorial Center. Presented by the United States Army in cooperation with this station.